Good evening. I'm just going to show you very quickly how you make a book. This is going to be my planner book for 2021, and I promised a friend of mine that I would do a quick video showing how you actually assemble it. So first off, what you need is, get hold of it, is to create a template. Okay. What this is my whole stencil, as you can see, for TN inserts. And what I've done is I've basically got a piece of paper that is the exact height of a book, and I've punched through using a awl or a pokey tool, if you like, holes so that when I use this on future projects, the holes will always be in the same place. Okay. From project to project that doesn't matter, but for items within the project it does. I'll show you what I mean as we go. So this is the cover that I've chosen. I've made this, it needs a little bit of a trim along there really. It's just the pockets overhanging a little bit. Okay, so I've just trimmed off the little extra bits. Now what you want to do is get your insert and put it on the inside, making sure that your ends are, you know, that it's exactly the same, it's even and in place. You want to make sure it's right in the spine. Then you get your pokey tool and you punch your hole straight through. Can you see? There's my pokey tool underneath. Okay, and you do that for each of the holes. Okay. So there you go, that's my cover already. Now you want to repeat that in your signatures. Now I've got 3 signatures for my book, and I'm going to put all 3 of these into that one book. When you're creating your cover, get the height right, but give yourself an extra, don't just wrap it around and assume that will fit, because it won't, especially if you've got quite a bit of paper. As I said here, this is Tomoe River paper, and I've got 3 signatures, and each signature is 17 sheets of paper, so that's 34 pages. Okay, so you're going to have to give yourself a bit of extra leeway on the spine. The measurements of my cover are the height of an A5 sheet of paper by 12 inches long, and I know that because I took it out of a 12-inch paper pack, and I didn't cut the length that, you know, from here to here is 12 inches, and I just folded it in the middle. Okay, so you now do the thing, you do the holes for your 3 signatures, and you should be able to do the entire signature in one go with a little bit of effort. Some people prefer to lie it flat and go into a sponge. I personally prefer to, what I do is I line up my awl with the hole, then I close the whole thing and push forward with my hand, and then I know that I'm going to come out through the spine. If I go down through a whole load of paper, I'm quite likely to miss, so you know. Okay, so that is signature 1. Just put that over to one side. Signature 2. And so else you want to make sure that all your pages are neat and together and ready to go. Signature 2. And signature 3. Right, that's your 3 signatures. I keep this, okay, because I usually make books that are A5, so you want to keep it, just saves you measuring. Now I've got some crochet cotton that I thought in purple would do really, really well, and I think I'm only going to need it to be singles, so you want to go 2 and maybe about half of the length of your book, okay? So anywhere between 2 and 3. It's better to have more than not enough. Then grab yourself a needle. Doesn't matter what kind of needle. Some people prefer to use giant needles. Some people prefer to use those curved needles like in bookbinding. And other people just prefer to use a regular sewing needle. Now, out of your 3 signatures, you want your middle signature. Okay? So take your middle signature and place it in your book. You should see that your holes line up pretty spot on. I think I'm a little bit out. Yeah, maybe a little bit out, but that's fine. Go from the inside of the book out through the middle load of holes, like so. Put it all through. Make sure to leave yourself enough of a tail to get hold of if necessary. Then go in through the next set of holes. Of course, it'll all move while you're doing it and wind you up. It's fine, honestly. And then make sure that's pulled so that it's snug. Then go out through. It doesn't matter which way you go, by the way, either. You just go to the next hole from the middle. Okay, so you've gone out through the middle, and you come back in through this hole. You could have come back in through this hole and that would have been fine. You would have then worked that way before working back. I always work this way, towards my hand that's holding everything. I don't know why, I just do. So there we go, that is now pulled in like that. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go back in through this second hole. Okay, try not to pierce the thread as you go through, because it makes it a little bit harder to sort of tighten things up a bit later on. Now you're going to miss out that middle hole, okay, and go to the next hole. Go out through there, like so, and then in through that last unused hole. Now, when you need to pull it tight, pull it in the direction of the thread, if that makes sense. Now, for example, the thread has been going that way, so to pull it, I want to go that way. If I go that way or up, I'm likely to actually tear the holes. So if we go that way, you should see it all nicely tighten up. This one, the needle went in and then went that way. So again, I would pull that way, just to help tighten it up. Then you want to go back out through that second hole. And then back in through the middle. Now, if you put the thread either side of that central line, you can pull it just to tighten it a little bit more, tie a knot, and then your knot will be stuck on the inside, it won't pop through the hole. Which is a danger, you know, if you use a slightly larger needle or something. Tie it, just give it that third little tie, just to give it a little bit of extra, you know. Some people like to put tape over it, and I don't find that necessary. And then once you're done, cut your ends nice and short, and that's it. That's your first signature. It's in and it looks great. Now, by the way, if you're working like with this on a signature you've already started, make sure you put it the right way up in the book. I want the moon on the front, so I now have to make sure this goes in the right place. So, cut yourself a new piece of thread. Oops. And thread your needle. Now, this is where it might get a bit difficult, and it also could get a little bit messy. I'm going to sew this into the same holes. So it's going to go next to the other signature. But on the spine it's going to go out through the same holes. This is only cardstock from a paper pack, okay? So it may struggle to hold it. If you are worried about it, you could put some tape down the spine just to stop these from ripping any. I've done that on previous books. I've also not done it on previous books, and they've worked out absolutely fine. I probably will put a bit of tape just to give it a little extra help, as it were. So I'm going to do the first signature now rather than the third one. Doesn't matter again which way you do it. So I've gone through my middle there. And if you look, you can just see the holes. So the idea now is to go out through those same holes, okay? Because you can see them from the inside. It may be a good idea on this one to cut your threads a little bit longer, because you just may need that little bit of wiggle room. So you're going to come in through that hole, but you want to make sure you come in. I've probably just lost that signature now. Look. No, I haven't. That's good. You want to make sure as you come back in that you miss the signature that's already in place, like so. So you come in there and then in that signature. Oops. I can feel the paper. So I'm doing this at a bit of a funny angle for me. I'm missing that middle paper every time. There we go. And pull it in. I wouldn't pull it tight until you've got it all threaded, okay? So what I would do now is go out through that bottom one, like so. Oh, I've just pulled off the needle. Don't you hate when you do that? Oh, I can't thread it because the end's frayed. Right. That's right, got caught around the corner of the book. So, you're going to look, you're going to see your hole in your book, and you're going to go out through there. Okay, so you can see my loops where it's going through. Now, you want to pull it a little bit just to take up any slack. Okay, you can see where it's there. And then the idea is that you come back in again through that second hole. Try and avoid the thread again if you can. Sometimes I find it easier to put it on the edge of a table and bend the spine back. Don't you dare. Now, you can, when you tighten it, go like that to try and get it back to back as much as possible, okay? Which, you know, that is something you could do a bit later if you want to try and make it that little bit tighter up against the middle signature. That's entirely up to you. So, don't forget, skip the middle hole, go out through that secondary hole, like so. And then out through there. This is where a curved needle, sorry I'm a bit out of shot, may also be a little bit more useful, just to get around sort of corners and bits and bobs. Okay, that's in. I didn't catch any of the things either. So there you go, you can see it's in. Alright, like I say, if you want to get it up and snug as much as you can, give it a good pull. Make sure you are again either side of your middle tie. Like so, and then just tie a knot. Again, nice and easy. Before you go any further, check that your binding is all nice and tight. You don't have any that haven't pulled through, because you know sometimes that happens. You pull it all nice and tight and you'll go, yep, that's in tight, and you'll tie it and you'll close your book and you'll go, well, what the hell, because there's a big ass loop that didn't pull through for whatever reason. That's frustrating. Okay, and again do the snippy snips. So there you go, that's my book so far. Looking pretty neat, looking pretty neat. So we've got one more signature to go through. That again is exactly the same process, but you're going to put it in the back instead of in the front, okay, because you've got your front one there which is all nice and tight and butted up against that middle one. Okay, now there is a bit of room, but hopefully your back one will push this one over a little bit. There's not, you can't do anything about this gap. If you made it so tight your pages wouldn't turn. Okay, so there's not really much you can do about it. I have tried countless times to eliminate that gap and I can't. So, you know. Okay. If you're going to ask me questions about this cotton, I can't really tell you anything other than it's crochet cotton. And I think I bought it in a yarn shop, and I bought it because it was purple, and I actually use it on my spinning wheel as a drive band, so it's nice. It's quite thick, you know, so this should last really well. I'm interested to see how this holds up. I normally for spines just use regular cotton, but I thought, you know, I'll give it a little bit of colour, and I was interested to see how this would hold up this time. So again, go in through your middle. Now be warned as well, if you've punched this quite a while ago, paper does this funny thing sometimes where it kind of heals and it starts to close up, so you may need to punch it again. It'd be a bit tighter this time, because don't forget you're going through something you've already worked through twice, okay? But there's your hole. You see it's starting to look quite torn now. That's fine, I'm going to tape it. If it's easier, you could always clip these pages. Okay, so clip it out of the way, stops them flopping about. Then you are only dealing with this signature. Okay, so we want to come in through that hole. Now, what kind of tape could you use? You might be sort of wondering. Well, that's entirely up to you, to be honest. You could use clear tape. I've done that before. Or you could use washi tape, which is probably what I'm going to do. You know, you could even give it a little bit of help by putting either some clear tape down first and then washi tape over top of it, or using a bit of glue on your washi tape to help hold it in. You know, you can do it multiple ways. as I said, just make sure as you come through that you're not splitting your thread from before, because if you split it, it's screwed. Right, that means keep pulling it in certain ways to make sure that it pulls through, and if it does, that's great, because if it splits it, what will happen is when you try to pull it tight, it won't go through, because where this one yarn's going through the other basically gets, no, see, you can see I caught it there, look, can you see? If I'm clever, I can get it to go back through. If not, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that. There we go, and just unhook it and keep going. And that was in a relatively easy place to fix, you know. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that side, so now I can sort of give it a good yank to get it into place. Again, miss that middle one. Okay, don't forget you're missing that middle hole every time you go through. Then go through that hole. Like so. And then out through the next hole in your book. Okay. Another reason I would put tape on the spine is just to basically stop it from tearing with wear and tear, because this is going to be my plan for the entire year and it's got to last. So, you know, a bit of tape on the spine will stop it from cracking, hopefully. Hopefully. It has before, so, you know, we'll see. Okay. And now I'm going to go back out of there. Like so. It's starting to look quite pulled about now, bless it. Come on. Trying to come up and stab some of the pages of one of the other signatures. Okay, done it. So Okay, give it a good pull. I felt quite a lot of movement there. Okay, so that's in as much as it will go. Check your outside. Yep, that's lovely. And then tie it off. Now, that signature was actually a little bit too tall. That doesn't bother me too much, you know. Besides, not much I can do about it, even if it did. So as you can see, it's already starting to crack a little bit here. I've been bending it backwards and forwards. This is when you would want to put your tape on, to be perfectly honest, okay? So I'm going to find some pretty tape and then I'll be back. Just so happens I found this lovely space themed tape. Now you want your tape to be quite wide because it's got to support the whole book. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, wide tape is a pain in the ass to work with, to be perfectly honest with you, because it splits. Okay, so I want to put half of it, I call it a match quite nicely. The good thing about washi tape, because it's paper, it doesn't stick to itself either, so it's easier to use. Now let's see if I can put a little crease in it, just so I know. And this was also the bit glue, just a glue stick will do. Okay, just helps give it a little bit of purchase. Just glue half of it for now, okay, because you can glue the other half once it's in place. Quite like it's quite a sticky one. And then just bring your book up to it like so, and smooth it into place. Works quite well, I think. Then what you do is you just turn it all over and glue the other side. Yeah, big glue stick, and this will hold. Okay, I've had books fatter than this that I've treated in the same way with just a bit of washi. I don't think I even glued the other one, same width washi, and it held beautifully for that for a whole year. Now just make sure as you do it that you do it nice and tight to cover those stitches and to help hold those stitches in. This is why you might want to use clear tape, because if you've used you know, a pretty thread, then clear tape would show it more. Washi is good in that it is ever so slightly see-through, so over time as that becomes part of the book, it will show the tape. You might want to get a bone folder and just, you know, give your washi a little bit more of a burnish. Actually got that quite even as well, look at that. Yay me. Now you're sitting there going, but it's overhanging, Sam, it looks a bit of a mess. Well, yeah, that's fine. It's fine, don't panic. Because what you can do now is you can open your book like so. And then you can either just cut it with a pair of scissors or a craft knife, whichever you are more comfortable with. Let's have a go. And because it's just paper tape, that's all washi is, it's just made of paper. You don't even really need to press very hard. So that's one end. And just do the same down the other end. One question I did get asked once was, how do you get the knife so close to the ruler or whatever it is you're cutting? The trick is to come in until your knife hits sideways and then go down. So you go like that until you hit it and then come down and you'll be in line with it. Okay, right, so I've got washi stuck to me. Let's get rid of those bits. You've got your lovely book, but you might have a little bit hanging over. If you do, and that bothers you, then what you would need to do, also what I would recommend is once you've done this book is to basically leave it alone for a little while, just to, you know, let the edges stick on. You might find that you need to add just a little bit more glue to your corners of your washi and whatever, but just to allow the tape to actually get a hold, just leave it to do that. So if your pages are overhanging drastically and you want to do something about it, if you want all your pages to be exactly the same length, see, mine aren't too bad. I'm actually not going to do anything about this. The only thing I'm going to do is around the corners. If you want to cut it though so that it is all the same, you need a ruler with a metal edge and a knife, craft knife, X-Acto knife, box cutter knife, whatever you want to use. You then line up the metal edge of your ruler. Also, my book is slightly wonky, which is why I'm not really bothered about it. Line up your metal edge of your ruler with the edge of your cover. Then you get your knife and you go like that, but up against, obviously up against there. You can see where these pages are sticking out a bit at the top, but they're not at the bottom. It's too small an amount for me to worry about. But yeah, you line your ruler up and then you just go, don't press stupendously hard. Okay, press hard on the hand that's holding the ruler because you don't want this to move. This moves, you're screwed. This, you don't press too hard, you want a nice sharp blade, and just make multiple passes, and bit by bit it will cut down through your paper block. The other thing you might want to do is round the corners. You do that last, because if you round your corners before you trim your pages, you're then trimming off some of the round, if that makes sense. I hope my corner rounder works. It's been a bit temperamental lately. Now, this is not going to cut through all of this. There's just no way it's going to do it, which, you know, that's fine. I'm not too worried about that. So I go through it in sections. I do the covers first, and I like to use the 10mm round. I've got 3 different ones on here. This does 4, 7 and 10. And I like to do the 10 because it is the softest. You know, it makes a nice round corner. So you want to do each corner of your back. See, sometimes it cuts and sometimes it goes nope. And it's not going to today, it's going to give me a fight. There we go, get there eventually. And then really it depends on how well you know your corner around it as to how much it will do. I know, I don't know what that is. I know that my signature is 17 sheets. I don't think it's going to cut that, but let's have a look. So I've got all 17. I really don't think that's going to go. No, that's not going to go. So let's cut it in half. What's half 17? 13, 8 and 7. I'm just going to guess. That'll do. Okay, nice. And the reason I'm holding it up is because that's where it's most even, believe it or not. Okay, and then do to the middle. That's very many. That could have been a bit better. Every now and then give it a little, just to make sure there are no bits. Now, if you want it all gorgeously, you know, even and all of that lot, I suggest you send off and get one, because this is handmade and it shows that it's handmade. But then I have had people say to me throughout last year, did you make that book? And I've said, yeah. Oh wow, you know, and people are honestly quite astonished that you can make a book. So, you know, if you want perfect, you'll need to practice, which means you're going to end up with an awful lot of notebooks for a while, which is great because you could, you know, if you've got friends who are artists and that, practice with watercolour paper and just make sketchbooks for them and all of that lot. I make books both in A5 size and A6 size because I have an A6 planner as well, which I take out and about with me. I need to actually set up my A6 planner because I haven't done it yet. So sometimes you get a little bit of paper caught in it, and that is what can affect how it chomps a corner. My chomper's on its way out. I need a new one. I've used the 10 to death, really. Oh, I didn't catch that page. Okay. For some reason that does not want to chomp through. Whether it's because it's curved or not. Weird. sometimes you'll get that. You'll get one page that just won't wanna perform for some reason. I don't know why it happens. Like I said, my trumpet is old and decrepit and on its way out. Of course, that's going to perform perfectly. Only if you've got decorative corner trumpers, you could do it in a decorative, you know, with a scallop one or something like that. I should have done that. I've got a scallop one. Got it for Christmas. I haven't used it yet. That would have been quite good. I just like rounded corners. Now I'm hoping this is going to work, because I told everybody on my stream that it would cut through the washi that I'd placed on these 2 pages. So moment of truth time, guys and gals. Oh, it did. Wow. And yes, I've got a pocket on the inside of this. That was easy. Basically, this is from the bottom of the page that I made the cover from, and I've just stuck it down with a little bit of glue around the edge, and that's it. But yes, I'm still going to chomper it just to make it look good. Well done, corner chomper. I'm impressed. Okay, then clear up your mess, which, you know, will be excessive after you've just done all of that, because you've just chompered however many pages. But to begin with, I would start off small if you want to have a go at making a book. Just a few pages and just one signature to begin with. This is really if you've had a go and you've done a few and you're like, yeah, that's easy, I can do that. Once you've got it and you know what you're doing, then by all means, you know, jump straight in. But that's it. That's my book ready now to go, and that will last me a whole year if I've put enough pages in here, she says. So what I'll do now is it will go into my traveller's notebook. That's my book for the year. This is last year's book. See, I made this one, I made this one, I made the book for last year, which actually isn't here. Now, to put it in your traveller's notebook, you want to find the middle of the middle signature. You'll know that you're in the middle because you'll be able to see the threads, okay? And you'll know that it's the middle signature because you'll see you've got a full signature there and a full signature there, and we're at the half point. And then what you do is you get one of your elastics in your traveller's notebook, and you just feed the book into place, and the elastics sit in the middle like so, and that's it. It is now in there, as you can see. That's it in the middle there. That's last year's yearly book there, and this year's yearly book at the front, and then a leaflet about my refuse collections. All done, all dusted, ready to go. Okay, I hope you found this a bit helpful. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, feedback, anything like that, please do leave it down below. A thumbs up would really, really, really be appreciated. If you click the little icon down in the corner, you'll be subscribed. And if you hit the bell that appears down below, you'll be notified when I upload new content. Thank you for spending time with me today. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you next time. Take it easy, guys.